Many times when we sit in boardrooms to project and think about what we are going to sell, it usually looks very easy. You're able to put the strategy, the numbers, the projections, the mapping, the go-to-market strategies. It looks very easy. Even for those of us who are not in sales, when you are in an office and you are thinking about the roadmap, it's many times easy. Then comes the phase of implementation. That's the phase I want us to talk about. We have finished a group meeting, but implementation is on individuals or specific departments to deliver. And sometimes you leave these rooms with a cut-out mind, knowing exactly where these numbers and these individuals are going to be found. But unfortunately, you meet your target and things just don't go the way you wanted. So this is a discussion I just wanted to touch on a little. You have discussed, you have agreed, but at interface with your customer, the response or the way the conversation goes is completely away from what you had anticipated. Sometimes you find yourself bombarded with questions that you have no answer for, or you drift into a discussion that was not in your plan of mind. What do you do? And in the event that you feel beaten and downcast, how do you rise up again to be able to face another day with the same customer, or to have a learning from this particular person so that you are able to be better when you meet the second person? One of the things to look out for when you find yourself in this kind of a situation is not to freak out. Quickly think through. Three possibilities could be at play. Either the strategy you went with does not resonate with the target that you are talking to. Two, the product or service that you are pitching before the customer is not relevant at that point that you are having this discussion. Or maybe you are not adequately prepared to the kind of drift that the discussion takes. If you find yourself in these three kinds of scenarios, one, I honestly do not have an answer for this one. Two, I feel my client is just pulling my leg. Three, the customer seems to be very knowledgeable than I am on our discussion area. What do you do? One of the things that actually works, but people sometimes think that it doesn't work. If honestly you have no answer, but you feel that you can be able to consult somebody else in the office or your colleague in the field, feel free to own up, because if you cook a story, that story in the future will be the narrative that the client may keep hitting at you. Request either to be given timeout so that you call the relevant source of support that you feel is able to address the need raised by the client, or defer the discussion in good faith and request to go and gather enough information so that the client expects that you are coming back with a proposition that will be able to move the discussion forward. Because what you are looking for is to address the need of the customer, and in the process, you are selling or you are meeting your expectation out of that discussion. Or three, if this client could be in that defined area of expertise, is knowledgeable, and you can be able to tell that this is somebody who is a resource, you can be able to engage very constructively by asking open-ended questions to this expert. Questions that will border on insights deeper into the kind of need that they are looking for, into the kind of specialization or the specs that they could be meaning. As they break it down from the technical to the easy to understand, you're achieving two things. You are able to manage the body chemistry and the relationship. And two, and most importantly, a client has also added to your basket of knowledge. So close those kinds of meetings, regardless of how they end, on a good note, leaving an open door of continuity or learning from the client or owning up that on that particular kind of approach, you may need to consult. Then when you retreat back, don't retreat into self-condemnation. Be somebody who is proactively researching, proactively consulting, proactively looking out for areas of messaging and areas of knowledge. When you come back and you are able to very intelligently now handle that kind of next discussion, that particular client starts handling you as a professional. Even if you said, I'm going to ask and come, going to research and come back to you, if you come back with the right answer, you earn the confidence of your client. So it's not a point for you to freak out. But in the event that you wanted to close and the closing did not go your way, part of the closing does not necessarily mean that you were able to exchange a service or goods with cash. Part of the closing for that particular day could be an agreement that we need to continue this discussion for next, especially if you're dealing with big accounts. In key accounts, you are likely to meet different departments, different types of people. For example, if you are talking to somebody that we may call the user, the person that is in need of that service or that product, they may not be the people that will buy the product. You will be referred to procurement or supply chain. Or you could be told, we need to have a team that is technical in procurement. And this team is made up of this department, maybe sales, maybe marketing, maybe quality assurance, and supply chain. All these people may not be the ones that you are meeting in this particular meeting. You're meeting one or two people, but they need to be your messengers to carry the message into their meeting. So whatever information you give, make sure it is up to date, it is professional, it addresses the specific need, and it is clarified well. So that if this person now will have their internal sitting, there will be your voice and they'll be disseminating information as received from you. That therefore means product knowledge should be one of your priorities. Do you understand the value proposition of your product? Do you understand the benefits of your product? All these things you need to do before you go to see the client. You can consult within yourselves as internal teams until you are sure that you are able to push this brand into getting a closure. Also look out for the cues. Sometimes you may be talking to somebody who is not the decision maker or the policy person. Be very open and candid in your discussion so that there is always room to ask questions like, oh, Mr. X, Madam X, we are done. Could there be somebody else that you could propose to me so that we can be able to work on this project and deliver? If it was a very cordial relationship, your client will say, oh, by the way, My role is this. But I think on this kind of discussion that you have raised, we may need to loop in so and so. Through them, because they're the internal, you can be able to push it and request, is it okay if you can link me up for the next appointment? The three of us can be able to meet, or kindly give me a through pass so that I can be able to engage with this individual. By the time you're going to the decision maker, if you're going through an internal person, your lead time is actually very minimized. You will not be taken round in circles. So if you are selling in a key account, a big institution, be very aware that you are likely to deal with multiple offices and multiple points of gatekeeping. But if you are selling a product like you see, for example, walk into somebody's place and they're the only decision maker in the space that you're getting in, usually the time is very short. You're able to finish it within minutes and you have delivered and closed. But if you are dealing with an institution, patience is one of the key things that you need to work on. Emotional intelligence, social intelligence, these are things you are supposed to look out for. The other thing you're also supposed to look out for is, as I talk to these people, am I understanding why I'm being referred to the next person? So that you don't lose sight of the person that was actually your entry point. Because you'll always be looping back and saying, oh, you send me to so and so, here is where we have reached. That way, you'll be read like you are a good partner. But if you block and you only continue with your next target, whom you have been referred to, it is likely that at the tail end, all these people will have a common sitting. Now imagine if they were to sit and you are being referred to, and the first contact is having a problem at even remembering what you discussed or who you are, you've lost the sale. But if somebody can be able to vouch for you in the meeting and say, if it is this person, it is true. And these are the details they said. The other person will be saying, from my perspective as a department, I think my add-on inclusion to closure is this. So that when everybody is now in agreement, you reach a point where now you are saying, we are now closing because everybody is bought in. And that is where you are able to get a sustained sale even for next time. Because it's not about selling only for the first time, but you need to have repeat sales into the key accounts or even into those individuals that are the decision makers.